Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. My website, teamchicago.tv. If you want to contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. I am at Mr. Beef's. This is the Legends Get Together. But the majority of people here are flat track racers. So my dear friend George Mack was sponsoring the Prince of Peoria. That's right, the modern Prince of Peoria is Henry Wiles. Henry Wiles won Peoria 13 times in a row. One of his early wins was on George Mack's Honda. George Mack invited me to come down to Peoria, and then I covered Peoria for many years after that. But we're going to go back to Henry Wiles winning at Peoria on George Mack's prepared Mack Daddy Racing Honda, and I think it's pretty exciting. So this is one of my Let's Look Back at the Past great shows that I produced, and I think you'll enjoy it. And don't forget, if you want to comment, you want to contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com to let me know what you think of this clip up on YouTube. This is George Mack. Back in 2004, George let me know that his rider, Henry Wiles, won the Peoria TT. 2 weeks later, I traveled down to Springfield to hang out with Mack Daddy Racing at the Springfield Short Track National. I had the opportunity to meet Henry Wiles as we see his late brother, Bertie, and we're going to watch Henry race in one of the qualifying heat races. But to make the program, you first have to qualify. As we watch one of the qualifying heats at the short track, Springfield, Illinois. And it's Brian Bigelow, number 11, and Henry Wiles, number 17, making the breakaway. This is how you qualify for the program. Henry makes that outside move, puts it in on the low end. Brian Bigelow is running second. Henry Wiles on that Mack Daddy Racing, 4 and 6 Racing, Honda 450. He's got the hot hand on the short track. It's Springfield, qualifying heat time. Henry's looking good. White flag, 1 lap to go. Final corner. And picking up the win in the qualifying heat race on the Mack Daddy Racing Honda 450. And now let's meet the owner of Mack Daddy Racing.
I saw Henry a couple of years ago in Plymouth, Wisconsin. They run a regional race up there along with the Road America road racing. There's a short track up there, and Henry came up on some pretty beat up equipment. He had an 883 Harley he was riding, and just the old leather, his old beat up bike. And the kid came out and spanked, he finished second that night, and spanked some of the best guys in that 883 series who had been riding week in and week out. And that's where he caught my eye. I looked, I said, who is this kid? And, you know, it's like, wow, this kid's got some potential. And then in 02 again, I saw him at Peoria as a pro sport riding and absolutely hauling the mail. His bike broke that day, but I mean, he was right there in contention to win it. Had it been not for the mechanicals, he would have been first or second for sure that day. So, I mean, I've been watching Henry since 01, more so in 02, but 03 we really started, you know, getting together. Him and I started working together on some stuff. Probably our biggest help so far has been 4 and 6 Performance. Jim and Sean and Ed over there do a lot of work for me, with me, engine-wise, suspension-wise. Jim Rashid and I at 4 and 6 have been working on suspension on these dirt track bikes for a couple of years, and I personally think we're doing as good as anybody now, and I think our results are coming to prove we're definitely on the right track. Ed at 4 and 6 helps me with all my engine work, and it's been, I mean, him and I put together work. Eddie's really meticulous. We put an engine together, we're confident in it, we know it's going to make it, we know it's going to last the race, and they've proven to be pretty fast too. We also work with Ron Hamp. He's a man in Michigan. He's an engine builder in Michigan. He's been developing these 450 Honda motors for a couple of years now. And Ron has had some big results with he's doing cams, he's doing heads, he's doing intake systems. His bikes have won the Peoria TT now. They've won the Hot Shoe down at Daytona, the short track. His bike won the Springfield Mile, the 505 support class in May. Brian Schmitt was the Formula USA champion on Ron Hamp's motorcycles. So, I mean, we know that Ron's doing the right things, and we're really glad to have him part of our program. He's been a big help. We're getting a little help from Troy Lee Designs with riding gear, things like that. Other than that, we're kind of a privateer team. Mack Daddy, which is me, has been footing most of the bills, and I'd love to have somebody get on board. I also have to mention with our big bike program, Mark and Kathy Freilich have been helping us out quite a bit. Mark has an XR 750 that we're also riding. We have my bike and his bike. We've been riding Mark's bike at a lot of the half miles. Mark just retired. He's getting into this racing thing as a full-time hobby, working his butt off, and he's been a great big help to us all through the season. Guy's willing to step up to the plate, do anything we need, and he's pretty knowledgeable with the XR. So, I mean, he's been a good go-to guy for me at a lot of the races. So that's kind of our team so far.
Thank you, George. And let's check out the action from Peoria.
It is the Peoria TT, an event almost unique in the Progressive Insurance U.S. Flat Track Championship, and it is round 11, in which case it counts just as much and no more than any others. I'm Brian Trevor, along with Steve.
And in the final event at Peoria Motorcycle Club grounds, Henry Wiles puts on a fantastic lead, leading by almost a complete straightaway at the halfway point. The announcers are concentrating on the battle for second between Joe Kopp and Johnny Murphy, but Henry Wiles is stretching his lead. He got a great start. Peoria Motorcycle Club grounds. The Peoria Club has been putting on national championship events since 1947. Henry Wiles on the Mack Daddy Racing Honda 450. The engine was just assembled a few days before this event over at 4 and 6 Racing in Skokie. But Henry Wiles, with that Honda motor purring, pulls away down the front straightaway. Almost an entire straightaway advantage is his, as the battle continues behind for second, third, fourth, and fifth place. But on the lap that counts, Henry Wiles, as you can see, has got an entire front straightaway advantage as he waves to the crowd, goes over the jump. A great day for a great racer at the Peoria Motorcycle Club grounds. A national championship, an AMA national victory for Mack Daddy Racing and Henry Wiles as he waves to the crowd. And the battle for second place, it's Murphy, Kopp, and J.R. Schnabel as Henry Wiles takes a detour to his race fans. Let's meet this young rider from Michigan.
Henry Wiles out of Blanchard, Michigan on the Mack Daddy Racing entry. A new Prince of Peoria is crowned.
The win at Peoria was great. We were fast all day. We had fast qualifier, fast heat race. We were the first to choose where we wanted to go on the front row. We got about a second place hole shot, and going up to the jump, I passed Joe pretty much going over the jump. And from there, we just started turning in fast laps, and we walked away from them pretty good. So it was a really great day for me and for my team. You know, it really boosts spirits on your team and everything, and hopefully not just people on my team, but hopefully we're making other people believer too. You know, it was just an all-around great day for us, and hopefully we can have a few more of those runaway wins. George Mack definitely put together a good bike for us at Peoria, so that always helps. You know, I've noticed that about Chris. You know, you don't see him lining up on something maybe that's a little subpar. He's always got, you know, some of the best equipment out there, and that's what really helps make you a winner week in, week out, and that's what helps put you in for a championship chase.
Final event, George Mack is going to give us one last bit of inside information.
After the heat, we came in. Henry won the heat, did a pretty good job. But watching the race, I saw that guys were right on our butts. We need to be a little bit faster. Came in, we changed a couple things. I think it's going to help us get hooked up a little bit off the corners. And I think it's going to make quite a bit of difference when we get out there for the final. I think we found what we needed to find.
Daddy Racing, M&K Racing, RHC, Troy Lee, and Spy Honda. From Blanchard, Michigan. He's 20 years old, won the Peoria TT, finished third here last year. Number 17, Henry Wiles.
The final event, 25 laps, Springfield short track. Jumping out front, it's Henry Wiles. And that Mack Daddy Racing, 4 and 6 Racing, 450 Honda right with him. J.R. Schnabel. He's on that Memphis Shades Yamaha, number 33. Chris Carr, number 1. 5-time national champ, is running third. Chris Carr makes that move to the inside. He has now moved up to second place. Henry Wiles. But as you can see, the track constantly is changing. It's starting to get slick on the inside. A little cushion on the outside. No matter how much track preparation goes into the track, it will constantly change for 25 laps. It's Henry Wiles and the Mack Daddy Racing, 4 and 6 prepared, 450 motocross bike. Chris Carr has moved to second. Chris Carr is on that Rotex 500, and he's in a frame bike. That quality checked, certified, pre-owned Ford Rotex. He makes the move on the inside. Henry's got the outside line. They come off the last corner. Henry Wiles. Chris Carr reaches up, pulls off his tear off as smooth as could be as the track is starting to get hard. Slick, smooth.
It was not Henry's night at the Springfield short track as Chris Carr, J.R. Schnabel, and a few other riders got by him. Let's see the final laps of this exciting short track from Springfield.
5 times national champ, Chris Carr, going back all the way to 1992. J.R. Schnabel from Wisconsin on the Memphis Shades, 450 Yamaha. Trying that outside line, he's gaining little by little on Chris Carr. Can he get the job done? Chris Carr running nice and smooth. JR is making the charge. 1 lap to go. White flag is out. JR tries the inside. Chris Carr, JR drives to the inside. Chris comes back. JR goes on to pick up the win. The Springfield short track. Jake Johnson was second, Johnny Murphy fourth, Pearson was fifth, Bigelow moved to sixth, and Henry Wiles ended up 7th place. J.R. Schnabel, Memphis Shades, Parts Unlimited, Drag Specialties, Yamaha, winning.
Now let's jump ahead to 2010 at Peoria. Henry Wiles has been dominating this national race going back to 2004.
But Henry Wiles, 5 times winner out here. I believe the first 3 times he won on the Mack Daddy Racing Honda. The next 2 times on the Kawasaki after he split with my friend George Mack. But Henry Wiles, a great rider. In fact, in qualifying, he turned a 27.541, which is almost a half a second faster than Byron Schmitt, who had his second fast time. So it's Henry Wiles leading first heat race. The first 4 will make it directly to the final in this race. Jake Johnson, Sammy Halbert, Aaron King.
And after this heat race, I had a chance to talk to Henry about the track here in Peoria.
The track was real wet to start out with. They didn't think they were going to get it dry, but I told them yesterday when they were going around it with the grader and the disc and everything, I said, don't dry that track out too much. So now that's where we're at. The track's too dry. It's got a groove on it right now, which I don't think is a very good track for the Peoria fans and for a racy, race. Group, one line. This thing's totally one line, so, this isn't the 80s or 90s anymore. We ride motocross bikes, so the frame bikes and on this groove doesn't really, it doesn't really make for that good a racing. So, but I think, they're usually pretty good with the Peoria. What's up? Sorry. I think the Peoria crew will bring the track around though and make it good. They're digging it up right now.
So what's your preference out here?
Well, I mean, a hooked up track I think makes for the best racing, and it was hooked up earlier when it was just flat, but I think now what they're probably going to do is dig it up a little bit and put a lot of water to it so we keep the dust down and make for some good racing.
We get ready for the final. The AMA Pro K&N Filters GNC Singles National Championship. Jumping up front, it is the Prince of Peoria, 5-time winner. Henry Wiles is up front. Right with him is Sammy Hilbert, Jared Meese, Jake Johnson, Johnny Lewis. But Henry Wiles will not be denied out here. He is going for his 6th championship on the Kawasaki. That's right, he is sponsored by Monster Energy Kawasaki, Don's Kawasaki. As we see Jared Meese, Sammy Hammer, Jake Johnson, Johnny Lewis, Sean Russell, Joe Kopp, Kenny Colbert, Michael Kinnis, Chris Carr is back there in front, Matt Whitman, Luke Goff. J.R. Schnabel is in the back of the pack. His leg is bothering him. J.R. Schnabel won here in 03 and was a bridesmaid a few more times. That broken leg is slowing him up as we see Sammy Hilbert on the Yamaha, battling with Jared Meese, Jake Johnson on the Honda. But Henry Wiles is stretching his lead. Henry Wiles, one of the favorites of the crowd out here, 5,000 to 6,000 people coming out to the Peoria National. Henry Wiles on that Monster Energy Kawasaki.
Let's jump ahead to the last couple laps right here at the Peoria Club Race Ground.
The white flag comes out, 1 lap to go for Henry Wiles. Henry Wiles from Michigan on that Monster Energy Kawasaki, Don's Kawasaki. He's from Wynn, Michigan. He's won the last 5. There's been 1 rain out. But he is now, in the 21st century, he's the first Prince of Peoria. Henry Wiles picking up the win. Jared Meese second, Sammy Hilbert third, Jake Johnson, Johnny Lewis, Sean Russell, Joe Kopp, Kenny Colbert, Mike Kinnis, and 10th place, Chris Carr. J.R. Schnabel finished 16th, right behind Aaron Scarry. Henry Wiles does a burnout for his fans on the back straightaway at the jump. He gets congratulated. Henry Wiles from Michigan, 6 wins at Peoria. Picking up the win, Henry Wiles.
As the fans cheer for Henry Wiles, we're going to jump ahead to 2017. American Flat Track is now running the program, and the Big Twins are the bikes to race. The big story in 2017 is Indian Motorcycle Company releasing the FTR 750 as we see the number 9 Jarrett Meese motorcycle. Now we're looking at Brad Baker's. It is a 53-degree V engine. This motorcycle and its team has been on a winning streak this entire year. We are now looking at Brandon Robinson's Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson has released the Harley Davidson XG 750R. As we see, Jake Johnson's number 5 Harley Davidson. You can now hear Kenny Colbert's number 2 XG 750R. It's a 60-degree V-twin engine, fuel injected. This engine is based on the Revolution X Harley-Davidson street bike. The frame has been made by Vance and Hines Racing. Compare these V-twins to the parallel twins of the Kawasaki. We are now looking at the Willie-built chassis for Henry Wiles. Now if you compare this chassis to the chassis that he uses on his dirt track bike, his half-miler, as we see right here, this frame here looks like a modified motocross chassis, the perfect bike set up for Peoria. When I say a parallel twin, I mean the cylinders are next to each other. We are now looking at a Yamaha parallel twin of Sammy Halbert's at the Yamaha FZ07. The twin-cylinder motorcycles have a minimum weight of 310 pounds, so they are much heavier than the single-cylinder bikes rode in the single class. As we see the XR 750 Harley Davidson that Rob Pearson is going to ride, and he is sponsored by Harley Davidson of Staten Island. First year running big 750 twin-cylinder motorcycles at Peoria, and Henry Wiles leads the way. Here up front, it is Henry Wiles on that Willie-built Mad Dog PPC Racing Kawasaki Ninja. Right there is Brad Baker on the Indian, number 6. Jared Meese is number 9. Right behind him, Jake Johnson, number 5, is also there. Down the front straightaway one more time. First heat race, twin motorcycles at Peoria Race Ground. Henry Wiles still up front, making a move, diving down on the inside. It is Jared Meese getting by Brad Baker on the Indian. Right there also Jake Johnson. Henry wins the heat race, earns the pole position for the final, and earlier I had a chance to talk to Henry.
Henry Wiles, we're here at the Peoria TT 2017. So far it's shaping up to be a pretty good day. We just got done with qualifying, and so far the track is in really good condition. They changed the track actually this year, where the American Flat Track has changed the way that their class is structured, and we are running twins. The top tier guys are all twins, and then the lower tier is now called from the GNC2 to now the GNC singles class. So it's twin singles, top guys are on the twins, and we're hitting 2 jumps here today at the Peoria TT, so it's actually pretty cool. They've got the first jump built up pretty good, so we're just straight jumping out there and then taking the old Peoria jump, which they've got us straightened out a little bit on it, but we don't catch near the air. The first jump slows us down quite a bit, but we still get to hit the old Peoria jump, so that's pretty neat. And you know, it's a lot different jumping the twins. They're a lot heavier. They're about 100 pounds heavier than the 450 motorcycles that we run. And you know, other than that, it's classic Peoria. Nice warm weather. The beer's cold. The women are pretty.
AMA, AFT, Peoria Race Ground. As the light flashes green, it is Henry Wiles out front. He's on that Willie-built Kawasaki 650 Ninja. Right there, looks like Jared Meese. Number 9 on the Indian. Young rider Brian Bowman, 14 on the Kawasaki. Running in 3rd place, number 1, that is Brian Schmitt. And he's on that Indian FTR 750. Henry Wiles looking for his 13th win, 13 in a row. 13 wins will tie him with Chris Carr. As they head down the front straightaway one more time, it is Wiles, Meese, Bowman, Smith, Fisher, Baker, Van der Koil, Close, Bowman, that's Bronson Bowman, and Jeffrey Carver. Henry continues to lead on that twin-cylinder Willie-built Kawasaki. Let's jump ahead to the last 2 laps. But the race is winding down as we see Henry Wiles one more time. Overall, again, it is Wiles, Meese, Bowman, Smith, Baker, Van de Coyle, Carver, Fisher, Bronson Bowman, Chad Close, Brandon Robinson, Sammy Halbert, James Monaco, J.R. Addison, Justin Jones, Kenny Colbert, Jake Shoemaker, and Jake Johnson. One lap to go. He's on that Willie Built Mad Dog Racing. DPC Racing, J&B Logging, Kawasaki with that Willie Built frame. The checkered flag flies. Henry Wiles, 13 Peoria wins in a row. He is the current Prince of Peoria. And as Henry Wiles prepares to take the checkered flag lap, that's his son driving the bike, steering the bike. That's his son, Henry River Wiles. Henry stated he always wanted to take his son for a victory lap. His dream comes true. His son is steering the bike around as Henry waves. What a beautiful image. I am so fortunate to know George Mack, Henry Wiles, and to be able to shoot this great footage. On Facebook at Henry Wiles 17 to get more info, and for George Mack, it's Mack Daddy Racing on Facebook. To contact me, it's teamdan45@gmail.com. And remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing for great motorcycle racing action. Dan Schmitt Politics to learn what makes America great.